What is going on, guys? Steve here from Alpha Nerd Entertainment. Today I'm doing a no-death run of Shadow Blasters for the Sega Genesis, released in 1990. Now here's a real NDR. None of those baby Astro Warriors or Transbot 4-minute game NDRs. None of these Deep Duck Trouble baby Master System games. Shout out to Master System Marceau, I'm ribbing them for the easy NDRs. This game isn't the hardest NDR. In fact, it came pretty easy, but it's a little more engaging than a 4-minute game. This game's wicked. Really is wicked. I beat it on stream about 3 years ago, and I struggled to get through the game. I beat it in about an hour 20 live, blind in front of everybody, and though I rushed through the game, I was like, this is a good game, and a game I want to revisit one day. Well, I revisited yesterday. Can't believe it was literally yesterday. Yeah, got the NDR really quickly, but again, when you find the specific things to do, it can make your journey a whole lot easier. Now, I wouldn't call this game hard, but this game does have something very unique about it. It's very much like TMNT for the NES. You have 4 characters at your disposal, and you can switch amongst them at any time. Now, that is actually key for me to getting the NDR, because I'm able to sub some out before they die and bring in a fresh character. So we're at the first boss. He looks wicked. Take a good look at him, because he's going to be done real soon. I'm using Horatio. Horatio is probably the best character in the game, him and Leo. But he does have a great charge attack. All the characters have unique abilities. The girl, Tiffany, has a tornado. Horatio has like this fire dragon. Leo has these cool like boomerangs. And Marco has a nice like chain lightning attack. Now the game does have some unique abilities. As you kill enemies, you'll see these like leaves pop up. They're all different colors, but you want to collect them all. Certain ones will make your characters move quicker. That's important. Having agility is key when facing any boss. You don't want to feel like you're stuck in the mud and slow and sluggish. You want to be nimble-footed and fast. So collect all of these things here. Certain ones will make your character also jump higher. Fast, better jumping ability, all very important if you want to be a good warrior or any playable character that has agility. You know, like, I tried facing this one particular boss in the forest first without leveling up my abilities. It was impossible. I was too slow and he was too fast. So I had to pick a different order. One thing I like about this game is it allows you to play in any order. It gives you 6 levels, you choose what order you want to play them in. Switching out to Marco here, because Tiffany has taken too much damage. Now the game isn't overly generous with health, but each level will have a certain area where it has a full health replenish. So you want to make sure when you get to those, you want to use those wisely, as I just healed Tiffany. Now this boss is kind of challenging, but I got 4 fresh characters, so he ain't killing anybody unless I'm slow and stupid and don't sub out in time. It's like a tag team between 4 people, and that's what made the NDR of this game so engaging. That the game can be quite challenging going through the level. If you stick with one character, you're going to walk to your death. But if you're smart enough to mix them up, it makes for a pretty easy playthrough overall, and a really fun one. So, just trying to think. Nope, we've got something else to talk about. Those leaves I was talking about, one increases your speed, another increases your jumping ability, the other one increases your power and your attack. All of these are key and important, and you want to collect all of these. Also, if you have a character who's fully upgraded and you have some power-ups in front of you, you want to sub them out and give them those power-ups. As we enter the harbor here, we are going to use, I'm really thinking about this, Marco. Game looks pretty damn good too for 1990. Now this level here, you can explore and go around to level up your character. In fact, its only full level health is right there. So I'm picking Tiffany, because she's half hurt. Boom. Replenish her health. Use that wisely. And you're going to want to know that that's a full health, because if I would have walked into that with Marco, I'd essentially be wasting that precious, precious health. So, jump down here, you skip half the level. You go through it in a second. Let's do the GamePro Magazine review, because this game is pretty dope. Now, it's an early title. Its graphics aren't excellent or anything. Sometimes they look a little cheap and bland, though I like this backdrop right here of the city. Reminds me of Streets of Rage. Overall, this game does have some pretty nice parallax scrolling in the final level, but generally speaking, it's pretty average stuff. Now, the bosses are big, bright, and colorful, and do look pretty sweet, but I think a 3.5 out of 5 is a fair score. There were many games from 1989 and 1990 that looked better than this, though it does look pretty good. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's not fantastic looking, but it's not bad either. Its audio, pretty similar. The music's not outstanding in this game. The sound effects are sharp and nice, and it does have that Genesis sound, which isn't a bad thing. That's a good thing. But it sounds also, in the average department, 3.5 out of 5. Its controls, a little stiff, a little sluggish, a little jank, but only a little bit. 4 out of 5. The controls are still otherwise quite nice. Anytime it feels stiff, sluggish, and jank is because you haven't leveled up your character. Once you get those stats increased there, as you can see, Horatio is full stats right now. It feels that much better. Tiffany's also pretty jacked too. You can see she has 4 and 3 for her maxed out abilities. So she's going to play a lot better than Leo and Marco at this time in the game. So the controls are good. 4 out of 5. So how about the fun factor? This game's wicked. It offers a lot. You can play at your own stage select. That's always fun. So there's no set order on how you can do it. It's relatively short. It's got 4 characters with unique abilities, with cool boss fights, and simple, fun level design. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 for fun factor. It's pretty sweet. Mandatory drum and dance as we jump our way through the forest here. Falling branches, there are some pit deaths. My biggest complaint about this game, the levels are too short. They should have been at least double the length. I don't know what they were thinking. There's a lot of good stuff here in this game, but I have to critique it when the levels are as short as they are. I can't quite understand it. It almost feels like a boss rush in some degree because they are so short. As quick as you start them, they're over. Some are a little longer than others, like the streets and the forest and the one level called Future. But again, still relatively short stuff. Now, there's a lot of particular level design in most of the levels, so you are free to explore, but that's at your discretion. If you want to like just go on through, hell, you can be way faster than this. Probably going to get yourself jeopardized in death, which is something I'm aiming to avoid. One of the hardest bosses in the game, by the way. He's really irritating, but he's fucking dusted now. Horatio with that fire dragon. Getting more points, because we care about points around here. Alright, so we got Glen. I don't know why this level is called Glen. Everything else is like named accordingly. Harbor, streets, forest, Glen. What? What? Like, I'm gonna pop up the Skeletor picture. What? Like, what is going on? It's fucking retarded. Why is this level called Glen? It's clearly a mountainous level. But yeah, now we're using Leo. Leo is a very important character in this game. Now, I've saved him for last because he hasn't been needed in the earlier stages, but I do need Leo powered up now. As you can see, he has next to no upgraded in his abilities. So I'm going to go around, unlock some of that stuff, and make sure Leo gets that stuff so he can be fully jacked up, because he has a very useful attack. His boomerang attack is, yeah, it's just incredibly useful for the final boss and the second last boss. So, yeah, even though Leo probably gets played the least in this playthrough, where he contributes is very essential and very important. Sometimes I watch my NDRs afterwards and I look how I grade games. Like Submarine Attack, for example. I was way too critical of that game. I gave its graphics like a 3.5 out of 5 when they're clearly a 4 or 4.5. I gave it sound like a 3.5 when it's at least a 4. And now I'm thinking that I may rewatch this one day and think I'm being a little critical. Like, it looks nice. This is a very early title, Genesis. So, should I change the graphics and sound to a 4? I won't. I'll see how I feel in a year's time when I revisit the game. Or even in a month when I try to speedrun it quicker. But, yeah. Sometimes, well, again, it's a very difficult thing. Even though it doesn't matter and it's only for my own fun to grade the game, you do have to kind of grade it and compare it to other things that were out at this time. And how does this look next to, say, Revenge of Shinobi? Well, it doesn't look as good as Revenge of Shinobi. It doesn't. You know, it doesn't look as good as, say, Ghouls and Ghosts, or, yeah, Ghouls and... Yes, Ghouls and Ghosts, not Ghosts and Goblins. Why they ever changed that, I'll never know. Like, why... whatever. But, like, look at this boss. That boss looks dope. I like the background. Looks good. So, like, am I being too critical? Giving it a 3.5? So, yeah, if someone's like, dude, are you crazy? These graphics are nice. They're a 4. At least a 4 out of 5. I wouldn't argue it. So he's almost dead already because Horatio's attack's very strong there. I switched to Marco just in case I took some damage, because as you can see, Marco has a full health bar right now. So in the event I took a little bit of damage there, I didn't want Horatio to take that damage, who's already sitting at about 60% health. I didn't get hit, but the idea was to protect Horatio from any further damage. Using that kind of strategy of 4 characters as wisely as possible. I like this level's called Future, and it has that like demonic like, it's not outstanding, but it's very fitting for the level, and it creates a feeling, an aura, or an atmosphere. All right, still got to power up Leo a little bit. He's slow right now. His power is charged up, like his attack, but his movement is sluggish and slow still. So we want to get all this good stuff for him. Yeah, it is really cool to revisit this game, and again, I gotta give credit to Master System Marceau on this one. He was suggesting that I play this game so I can become the moderator for it on speedruns.com, because it currently has a moderator who's just MIA, you know, not around. So if anyone were to run this game, their run would be sitting unapproved for forever, basically. So, and I always wanted to revisit it too, so I was like, you know what? I'll take this opportunity to replay this game. And sure enough, I was like, man, I'm going to NDR this. I'm not just going to revisit it. I'm not just going to submit a run for the sake of submitting a run. I'm going to take this as an excuse to do an NDR of a quality, good game. Like, for those who watch my No Death Run review commentaries, I often talk about how certain games are really fun to No Death Run and others are really tedious or frustrating or annoying. This falls perfectly into the category of fun. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that, well, it's not the hardest game, but it's also relatively short, but it's just a fun game. And changing from character to character really allows me the opportunity of being smart about how I approach each situation. Though I failed a couple of times, I did get it a lot quicker than I was expecting, but no, this falls right into that fun category, the Rambo 3 No Death Run category, where it's like, you don't care if you're hit and reset, you're having fun. And to me, that's the best thing. Gaming should be fun first. no matter what you're doing, you should be enjoying yourself. And this definitely fell into that category. I'm surprised I'm using Marco right now because he's a little slower than, say, Tiffany. But Marco's also my meat shield. Because I use him less in boss battles, I'm willing to have him and Tiffany take a bunch of damage to make sure I get to the boss with a strong Horatio and a strong Leo. Because those guys are like my boss fight guys. So I want to make sure they're like strong and ready to go. So I'll dwindle the health down of Tiffany and Marco. As you can see, I'm using both of them for this level. It is. So any damage I take, it's like, it's cool. They can be the meat shield, get to the end and pull out the big guns. Though she has a great attack. Though sometimes, not sometimes, her attack does go upwards. And that can kill enemies too high out of your jumping reach, which means their power-ups they drop will be out of reach. So I'm always very mindful of that. But I only know how to fight this boss with Leo, because if you watch what I'm doing, the boomerangs go up and come back down. It's fantastic. So definitely suggest using Leo for this boss. He's great. And Leo's attack is, him and Horatio have the most powerful special moves. Like, don't matter if all characters are fully upgraded, their specials are for sure the strongest. So, I also want to point out that death animation looks pretty dope. It does. It looks pretty dope. Also, I mentioned this game's a little bit easy, and I was about to say that the bosses don't take quite enough damage. There's a hard mode. So, that solves that problem. Because this is the kind of game I would like to play on hard as well. Because, there's always a much more rewarding experience when a game is challenging. When something's too easy, you forget about it because it didn't make you work for something. So I like that this game offers a hard difficulty because some games don't. And some games don't need them, like Kid Chameleon. But some games do. Hell, I always wish Sonic had a hard difficulty. I don't know what they would do, maybe faster enemies. So we're still wanting to upgrade Leo now, hence the switching back and forth.
Ah, fuck's sake.
And again. Here's that nice parallax scrolling. When standing still, the clouds go by in a very, very nice looking way. And just... it's a sharp looking level right here. Great choice of colors. It has like that gold, yellowy bronze pillars, which makes you feel like you're in a very enchanted, historical, mythical place. A place of wealth, ancient wealth, where there could be ancient warriors. It's a cool looking place. It almost looks like something out of like God of War, for example. Just that mixture of color, even with the skies, clouds, just makes for a very wise palette design. But yeah, this is the last level, by the way, the 8th level. So we are approaching the final boss very shortly. So we got some health there, I think? No, I thought it was health, but it wasn't. Because, yeah, there's... The gray leaf is full health. There's like a red one that gives 1 single health, but there's also an orange one. Being slightly colorblind, I can't always quite tell, but that's a me problem. And other colorblind people's problems. Shout out to all my colorblind friends in the world who gets their blues and purples, greens and yellows, and oranges and reds, sometimes a little mixed up. But for me, when they're side by side, I can tell instantly. At least my vision's Hawkeye 2020, so perfect vision otherwise. Those colors are a tad off. I want to point out that the final boss fight in this game is actually basically big mode. you end up battling in space with a person that, like, I don't know, I let the cutscene play out. I could have skipped it to speed up my run, but I just didn't care. But I do want to point out that the final boss fight in AKA Big Mode, if he touches you, it's an insta-kill. So you want to immediately fly to the left and not get close. And you don't want to go up and down at all in this battle. You want to stay positioned horizontally and just move left and right and get one individual shot off. Not this fight, it's the next one. But yeah, Horatio's almost dead now. He was at 1 health. Very close. And it'll even say, dead. But we got Leo now. Leo's got a lot of health. He's got some damage. Half health, but Horatio's already done quite a bit of damage. So Leo should be able to... And honestly, like, if I have to sub out Leo, I still got Marco and Tiffany. So it's like, yeah, this is a fun game to NDR. So if you don't rush yourself, kill the enemies accordingly, and are smart about switching in and out with your characters, and smart about collecting your healths, it makes for quite an easy NDR. But again, a fun one too. So, and yeah, no, not shitting on Transbot or Astro Warrior, but 4 and 6 minute NDRs are, you know, anything to kind of boast about. We got a cool little cutscene here. I'm gonna call that guy God. God says, "All of us have fought courageously and to our utmost ability. As a result, the demons that invaded the earth were annihilated. But their leader, the evil Ashura, is still alive. Yes, he's still alive. Unless we defeat him, we cannot achieve true peace on Earth." Okay, final boss fight time. That was fun. Little Jack Black moment, but not as good. Not remotely as good, but I still had fun with it. So yes, here, do not move up and down. Don't. You'll get offset. Just stay still, back and forth. One shot, one shot, one shot. And do not fucking touch him. You'll instantly die. Bam. There we go. No Death Run, the Shadow Blasters for the Sega Genesis. Pretty awesome game. I streamed it about 2.5, almost 3 years ago, and obviously I struggled greatly in that blind playthrough. I did eventually beat it, but not as well as I did now. I would look forward to playing this game a little quicker and a little cleaner. This game is actually really good. It's got a lot of cool gaming mechanics to it and allows you to play the game at your own sort of pace and pattern, you know. I'm essentially repeating myself. Start. A lot of fun stuff. So thanks for watching my No Death Run of Shadow Blasters. For the Genesis. It kicks ass. It kicks ass. Give it a try. And you should give it a try. Thank you for watching my No Death Run of Shadow Blasters. I think I'm done now with the post-commentary. Let the credits roll. Now I'm sounding like Creed. Though all the demons seem to have disappeared from the earth, invisible demons have been spreading among the human race. Only the God, well, I just got a prompt on my phone and it's blocking the screen. But you can read the rest on your own. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Now that's commentary.
The end. Or just end. Thanks for watching.